Hi beautiful people, welcome back to my channel. Hope you guys are having a wonderful week so far. As you guys obviously saw from the title of this video, I do have the police reports of when Katie Joy claimed that the cops came to her house at 4 a.m. on a Sunday morning. So she blamed creators like me, WOACB versus WOACB, Charlotte's on the Web, Balls 2.0, Llama Girl, and a few others of agreeing to help Robert Shin with zero proof. But anyway, let me refresh your memory. On Monday, June 17th, Katie Joy went on her Instagram and explained to people how her and her family are being harassed and targeted, and that it could be Robert Shin. It also could be creators working on behalf of Robert Shin. Not that she knows exactly who it is, but she thinks it could be, and how the harassment and targeting that she has experienced is so much more severe than Miranda Derrick. And the harassment that she is experiencing is in retaliation of something Miranda posted. And also, the cops came knocking at her door at 4 a.m. Sunday morning. Check this out.
It's weird to have people want to have questions. It's just very strange to me to be sharing all of this and then have people asking questions that are just not super relevant or that don't pertain to this, because this is really serious, you guys. I've had police showed up at my house 4 a.m. on Sunday morning. There was a report filed with the FBI, and then there was also two reports filed to the Department of Human Services in a different county in perjury, impersonating my attorneys and trying to incite a SWAT team to show up to my house to storm through the home. Even though the SWAT team didn't show up, the police are treating this as a swatting attempt because the goal was to incite law enforcement to go to a hostile environment and to break down doors. And one of the threats was that I was going to harm my son. The other threat was that someone else broke into my house and was going to harm my son. When the harming my son didn't get them the desired result, that's when they turned to Katie's hostage in her house, and that's when law enforcement responded. I've had cops here now 3 times in 2 days, and it's all related to this series and people claiming that Robert Shin, I'm getting emails saying, oh, Robert's telling me to do this. I don't even know if this is Robert behind this. I'm sure in some capacity he's incited people to do this. But this was, in my opinion, a direct retaliation for what he had Miranda post. Miranda posted last week that she was in danger. Since then, I have actually had police at my house. To the best of my knowledge, police have never showed up at Miranda's house. There's been no police involvement with the stuff going on with Miranda. But it's more than likely that those threats were coming from someone that supports Robert or from someone within the church. I don't know who. And according to the threats I'm receiving, they're also creating emails in my name and sending threats to Miranda to try to make Miranda more scared of me. I don't know what these specific creators or even Robert Shin thinks is going to change anything.
Okay, as you heard, she makes quite a few claims, okay? But first of all, how dare those people in her chat ask questions that do not pertain to her lies? Come on, people, she's about to, and as you heard, she was about to spew some lies, in my opinion. She also mentioned that police came to her house at 4 a.m. and allegedly this was supposed to have happened on July 16th, which was Father's Day. It also states there was a report filed to the FBI. 2 reports were filed to the Department of Human Services in a different county, as she says, and it was done in perjury, impersonating her attorneys and trying to incite a SWAT team to her house. Don't fret, people, the SWAT team didn't show up. Another claim she made is that one of the threats was that she was going to harm her son. Another threat was someone broke into her house and was going to harm her son. She goes on to explain that law enforcement only responded to when it was reported that Katie Joy was a hostage in the home. Now let that sink in. That law enforcement actually sucks, because why do they overlook a report of a child being hurt and ignore that, yet respond to when it's reported that an adult has been held hostage? I'll never understand that. But anyways, she also states that cops were at her house 3 times in 2 days. So I am assuming she is talking about the 16th and the 17th. So in both those days, cops were at her house 3 times. Or maybe even the 15th and the 16th. All that she is going through is related to Shin and the series. She goes on to say people are claiming that Robert Shin, and then quickly changes to she is getting emails of people telling her that Robert is telling them what to do, whatever, and then goes on to say that she doesn't even know if Robert is behind all this that she allegedly is going through. But by her saying that she is sure in some capacity he incited people to do this, meaning to threaten and harass her. Now, to that I say, I can look at it the same way, Katie Joy. Like you could possibly inciting other people to come after me and threaten my life. Because one evening you went onto your Instagram platform and you proudly said how you know where I live and you have my address. So the next day, I received a very threatening DM. Fast forward a few weeks later, you made a post on one of your platforms and you posted my name and attached to my name and several other creators. You said that we agreed to help Robert Shin. Katie Joy, it's been a few months and you still have not shown the proof of that. Where me, Ronald Smith, as you showed on your platform, agreed to help Robert Shin. Then, a few days later, I was bombarded with at least a dozen threatening emails. A thing that agitated me is that for her to compare incidents between her and Miranda, that's fucked up. Why don't you just learn to stay in your own lane, Katie Joy, and leave Miranda alone? You claim to be this cult expert, and you should know better than anyone else that you cannot shame, harass, and stalk someone to leave a cult, like what you have been doing to Miranda. From the time, as you so proudly claim, you broke the story. That's all you have been doing to Miranda, is harassing her and targeting her, in my opinion. How coincidental that when Miranda makes a post about how she is fearing for her life and shows receipts of how people are threatening her life, you felt that you had to one up her trauma and claim that your threats are more severe than hers because you claim that she didn't even report her threats to the police department. You haven't even shown receipts of these alleged threats, which I think, and I still hold to this, and this is just my opinion, that she is recycling threats from what, 4 years ago, 3 years ago, the Tati lawsuit? Just saying, Katie Joy. Where did you get the idea that Miranda's scared of you? I heard her say she is scared to leave her house because of the threats she is getting on social media. Not scared of you. Slow your roll, boo. Before I read these reports to you, a huge thank you, and this person knows who they are. Thank you so much for sending me the. I truly appreciate you. So let's get into it. Report number 1. As you can see, Wright County Sheriff's Office gives you the case number, status approved, reported at 06/19/24, 19:53, 7:53 p.m. Incident date. Disposition closed, unresolved. Offense information, nothing interesting there. Dispatch. They were assigned at 7:55. They were en route at 8:50, on scene at 8:50, completed at 8:50. Crime Stoppers of Minnesota, other, Paulson, Catherine Mansky. As you can see, our information is redacted. The officer's observation/actions. On 06/19/24 at 7:53, was assigned to check welfare. Agency assist at redacted. Crime Stoppers of Minnesota reported they received an email from someone claiming to be Katie Paulson, who reported a domestic assault type incident to them. The report claimed Katie was freaking out and her husband Todd was going to KILL her. The Crime Stoppers representative stated the reporting party stated she was being targeted, her husband shot her, she was dying, she was shot. The representative stated they received a similar report on the 16th of the 6th, 2024 from the same person. They stated that call claimed a hostage situation was unfolding, to which It says, I contacted Paulson Catherine Mansky about the report, and she stated the following. She stated she was fine and did not need any assistance from law enforcement. She stated she was being harassed by spoofers and all reports that were made was not her. She stated the issue had been reported already and she was still waiting to be contacted by an investigator. She stated she was a journalist. You think they asked her for credentials? And was involved in a Netflix documentary that caused people on social media to respond negatively. She stated she did not want to be contacted again in the future by any deputies via phone or at a residence, unless it was an investigator looking into the spoofing/harassment complaint. She stated she was tired of explaining the issue to everyone. She stated if she truly needed emergency assistance, she would call 911 herself. I contacted Crime Stopper and updated them on my findings. End. We move on to the second report. Wright County Sheriff's Office, status approved. Report type, patrol unit. Report at and incident dates 06/11/24. Time 12:26 p.m. Disposition closed, resolved. Assigned 12:28, en route 12:54, on scene 12:54, completed 12:56. Everything's redacted. Officers' observations/actions. On 6/11/2024 at 12:28 hours, I was dispatched to redacted handover for suspicious circumstances. Redacted requested a phone call in regard to Catherine Paulson. Redacted due to issues online. I was familiar with this residence due to previous police reports. That is so sad. Paulson is a social media influencer and has a YouTube channel. I called Redacted to inform Paulson was part of a documentary online that talked about a girl named Miranda. Derek. Derek resides in California. Derek recently posted a video online that states since the documentary she has been receiving threats from people online. Redacted informed that she is concerned for Derek's safety and wanted Paulson investigated for doxing. Redacted informs she does not know Derek personally or have ever spoken to her. I advised Redacted that Derek would be the one that would need to report any criminal issues to law enforcement. I informed Redacted that these issues may need to be addressed by the social media platform they are on for possible policy violations. Disposition exceptionally cleared. Routing records. Third incident report. Status approved. Report type patrol unit. Reported at an incident date 06/2024 at 7:02 p.m. Incident code check welfare. Disposition closed. Sergeant approved. No further action. Offense check welfare. Assigned 1906, en route 1913, on scene 1913, completed 1913. FBI tip line. Officers' observations/actions. On 06/2024, around 19:02 hours, I was dispatched to check welfare at Redacted, County of Wright. It was reported from FBI tip line that Catherine's neighbor pulled a gun on her and her husband, and the neighbor was holding them hostage in their home. The FBI stated it was a swatting call. I contacted Watch Command and we determined since there have been a number of swatting calls at the residence and Catherine has been having increasing agitation with continued contact from the Wright County Sheriff's Office deputies, no contact would be made with Catherine. Nothing further. Incident number 4. Approved patrol unit, name of primary officer reported at incident date 06/17/2024, 12:59. Disposition closed, unresolved. Offense harassment. Assigned 12:59, en route 12:59, on scene 12:59, completed 14:09. Paulson Catherine Mansky, primary narrative. Harassment, swatting emails, complaints sent to the city referring to non-existent issues at the address. Previous swatting calls for service to this address for kidnapping, being held hostage, and child welfare. Resident denied any of the reported issues and no issues observed at the residence. Child was observed on the couch watching TV. Swatting issues are related to the Netflix documentary Dancing with the Devil TikTok 7M cult, whom the homeowner was part of the production team. Forward to CID for further investigation. Officers' observations/actions. On 6/17 at 10:50 hours, I was advised of suspicious circumstances that occurred through email to the city redacted over the weekend. City administrators advised of receiving 2 emails about issues redacted. Mine redacted. I am familiar with this address relating to ongoing harassment for an unknown person due to a Netflix documentary that was recently released. The first email was sent through the online city complaint form, appeared to have been sent from Paulson Catherine Mansky. Redacted, the return email used was redacted and the phone number attached was redacted. The content of this first email complaint stated that Robertson is harassing her and sending someone to harm her, and to refer her to Instagram account for further information, redacted. The second email complaint the city received appeared to be from the resident at redacted. The name of the complaint was Jackie, and the contact number attached was redacted. The complaint stated that Catherine is hoarding items in her yard, causing rodents to be present, abandoned vehicles in her yard, and her dogs bark non-stop. The complaint also states that they are concerned for Catherine's child's welfare. Based on the previous cases involving Catherine, I believed these were swatting emails to cause more law enforcement contacts at her residence. I spoke with Catherine at the residence and explained the reason for my contact. Catherine immediately denied sending an email to the city of redacted, though she does believe Robertson is causing the harassment. While on scene, I observed Catherine sat on the couch, appeared in good health and watching TV. Catherine confirmed that the contact number provided in the email was an old cell phone number that is no longer in use and that the return email used in the email is no longer active. She stated she would not provide either of these forms of contact as they are no longer in use. Catherine advised this is an ongoing harassment from an unknown person due to the release of the Netflix series Dancing for the Devil, the 7M TikTok cult. Catherine stated she was part of the production team and she has been the victim of the harassment due to the information that was released in the documentary. She states that she is currently being sued by Robertson, who is the main subject in the documentary. Catherine stated that she believes Robertson is paying the influencers mentioned in the documentary to file fictitious reports so law enforcement has contacts harass her. What? Let me know you guys' thoughts about that. Catherine advised of multiple different reports that have been fictitiously been filed. She states reports have been made to Hennepin County CPS involving a child, and reports have been filed to the FBI about her being held hostage. We have in-house history of calls sent to the FBI tip line concerning being held hostage in her home during the Tarty lawsuit. Okay. Catherine requested that when we receive these calls to make contact with her by phone first, so law enforcement presence is minimal at her house. I spoke with Catherine about the email complaints that appeared to have come from redacted. She stated she does not redacted well as her family sticks to themselves. I spoke with the resident redacted who wished to remain confidential. They advised they had no involvement with the filing of an online complaint with the redacted. The CP stated they were not at all familiar with the issues at Catherine's place but wished to remain uninvolved. There seems to be something there. But anyway, the email complaints sent to the city were found to be another swatting attempt directed at Catherine. Cases to be forwarded to CID for further investigation of the ongoing harassment towards Catherine. See attached cases for further. City redacted was notified in person of the resolution. Nothing further to note. So we're on the 5th incident report, reported at incident date 06/22/24 at 2:05. Position closed, resolved. Sign 249 in route 249 and so on and so on. Hennepin County Human Services Child Protection. Primary narrative. On 06/22 at 2:05, I was dispatched to check welfare at redacted unknown complaint made a child endangerment complaint involving Paulson Catherine Mansky. Redacted and her son Paulson Vaughan to Hennepin County Child Services. The incident was forwarded to Wright County, where the subject resides. The CPS report states as follows. A written report received on 06/21/2024 concerns were noted for Vaughn Paulson, age 11, in the care of his mother, Catherine Paulson. Per report on 06/21/2024, Catherine went live and states that Robert Shin is a RAPIST. It was reported that Vaughn then entered the room, at which point Catherine hit him on camera and loud slaps were heard. Catherine reportedly came back and said, sometimes it would be easier if he were DEAD, referring to Vaughn. The reporter advised that Catherine then stated that she wanted to smother Vaughn. What is wrong with people? The information was documented and forwarded to Wright County Child and Human Services for follow-up. The Hennepin County report was attached to the document section of this report. N. Disposition. Documented. So this is the last report. It says status approved, reported at 1924 at 3:34 p.m. Disposition closed, sergeant approved. Oh my goodness. Primary narrative on 6/19 around 3:33. I was dispatched to check welfare at redacted County of Wright. Reporter Allison Anthony called. Redacted. Allison advised she was from Florida and she was concerned for Catherine Mansky Paulson because she saw a YouTube video Catherine had been receiving threats. I attempted to call Alyssa and left a voicemail. There, redacted, receiving swatting calls and ongoing harassment investigation. The redacted. I looked through previous reports involving these calls, and I saw Catherine had reported she believed a Nicole Walters from North Carolina had been making false reports in Catherine's name. The phone number Alyssa called from registered out of North Carolina. The voicemail does not say the name of who owns the number. However, it was a female on the voicemail. A clear search was done. The phone number comes back to Alyssa Anthony. She has an address in Florida as well as North Carolina. I spoke with Watch Command and we determined we would not make contact with Catherine since Alyssa was a third party, the party of swatting/harassing calls targeted at Catherine, and Wright County Sheriff's Office redacted. The report will be forwarded to CID for information. Nothing further. That was a lot. Before I go any further, if there is someone or multiple people out there that could be doing this, I'm talking about falsely reporting Katie Joy, please stop. It is not fair on Katie Joy's little boy. Think about him, please. Now, going over those reports, a lot seems out of the ordinary, like the neighbor that wants to have nothing to do with whatever Katie Joy is up to or whatever she may be going through. I can tell you guys one thing. As much as I keep to myself, my neighbors rarely see me. But I can tell you one thing. If I am going through something, they will always be there for me. Trust. And like I said, these threats seem to always be recycled. And let's talk about the report when that person said Katie Joy has been harassed and she called Robertson RAPIST. I remember that live, but I do not remember seeing the little man walking in the room. But most importantly, did Katie Joy lie to her attorneys and the court by saying that the cops were there at her house that Sunday at 4 a.m. on Father's Day? Now, don't get me wrong. I am aware that there is a reference to June 16th, where apparently the representatives state that they received a similar report on the 16th from the same person that called claiming that there was a hostage situation going on. Now, bear in mind, this is 3 days later, where a deputy was assigned to Katie Joy's house for a wellness check. Now, that is the report that we see here in these reports from the 19th, but there is no official report from a deputy that states he was dispatched to Katie Joy's house on the 16th, as she claimed. All the reports are in this video. You guys can go over it. If I'm wrong, please let me know. I'm open to being wrong. I'm okay with being wrong. But I don't see where the police was dispatched to her house at 4 a.m. on Father's Day morning. Did Katie Joy lie? Did Katie Joy make her attorneys lie to the court? Because this is the letter that her attorneys actually put forth to the court. Dear Judge Willis, at 4 a.m. on Sunday morning, June 16th, 2024, police came to my client's home and said that they had received a tip from an anonymous caller who stated that a man was holding Miss Paulson and her son hostage. You guys can pause to read the rest of this because this is the point that I'm trying to make. They reported to the court that at 4 a.m. on Sunday morning, police were called to Katie Joy's house. Now, long story short, on June 11th, 2024, cops were dispatched to Katie Joy's home for suspicious circumstances. Report written out on 11th of June and completed at 12:57 p.m. Case closed June 11th at 1:33 p.m. Cops dispatched on June 17th for suspicious circumstances. Report written out on June 17th at 2:18 p.m. Case closed/unresolved on June 18th at 9:25 p.m. Cops dispatched on June 19th for wellness check. Report written out and completed on June 19th at 4:27 p.m. Case closed/sergeant approved/no further action on June 19th at 6:57 p.m. Cops dispatched again on the 19th for yet another wellness check. Report written out on June 19th and completed at 11:22 p.m. Case closed/unresolved on June 20th at 9:25 a.m. Cops dispatched on June 20th for wellness check. Report written out and completed on June 20th at 7:19 p.m. Case closed/sergeant approved/no further action on June 21st. Cops dispatched on June 22 for wellness check. Report written and completed on June 22 at 4 a.m. Case closed/resolved on June 24th at 11:37 a.m. Look, the reason I decided to talk about these reports is because I felt when Katie Joy did her live that Monday after she claimed that cops were at her house 3 times in 2 days. In my opinion, from what I observed about her, it just seemed all so fake and false. Like I said before, and I think I've said this so many times, it's the threats that she was talking about, the recycled threats. And another thing is that Katie Joy made a video where she stated, well after this fact, that she knows who is responsible for sending threatening emails to creators like me and Nikki that I know of. I did make a video about this. If you're interested in seeing that, I'll leave a link down in the description box. And like I said, as she said, she knows it is not Nikki. And Nikki has been going through it. And Katie Joy refuses to let Nikki know who is doing this, sending these threatening emails, and at least give Nikki peace of mind, since Katie Joy said she knows who's doing it. And also bear in mind, Nikki is a single mom. As of recently, when Nikki tried to get an answer from Without a Crystal Ball, who was on somebody else's panel on a live, Katie Joy said she didn't want to answer Nikki's question. And she also stated that Nikki is irrelevant. It's the heartlessness for me. Why would Katie Joy want Nikki to live in fear? Why would you hold out on giving somebody information that can give them peace of mind? Information that she claims she has. This further demonstrates to me that Katie Joy is a liar. If she truly knew, how hard would it be just to let Nikki know this is who's doing it? I would do that. Even if I don't even have to speak to the person. Just send them a DM, send them an email, just to give them peace of mind. Katie Joy refuses to do that. Let me end with saying this. Katie Joy claims that her and the people that worked on the docuseries were being harassed and targeted. That is false. Katie Joy is the only one making claims of being harassed and targeted. Now, in my opinion, when things started not going her way, not the way she anticipated it to go, Katie Joy became unhinged. She started lashing out. and blaming and putting targets on my back and other people that report on her. And she falsely said that we agreed to help Robert Shin. Absolutely false. We started receiving threatening emails that looked like it came from her. And then she claims that she is also receiving these threatening emails. And then Katie Joy decides to try one up Miranda with her explaining how she feels her life is being threatened. Who tries to hijack someone else's pain and suffering? She claims that her threats are more severe and she is at least taking it more serious because she's reporting it to the police, unlike Miranda. My opinion is that Katie Joy has orchestrated all these threats to herself in hopes that Robert Shin would be investigated and she would be able to wiggle her way out of this lawsuit, just like how she did in her lawsuit with Tati Westbrook. Because if you look at all these reports, that's all it's about. Robert Shin, and she even states in one of these reports that Robert Shin is paying the influencers mentioned in the docu-series to file false reports. I do not know Robert Shin. I don't care for or about Robert Shin. I don't work for Robert Shin. What I do care about is Miranda, James, and anyone else still in that situation. I care about their safety and their well-being. Katie Joy, I'm still waiting for you to prove, as you boldly stated in a post on your social media, that I agreed to help Robert Shin. Thank you to everyone for taking the time out of your busy schedule to watch this video. I appreciate each and every one of you. Have a wonderful rest of your week. Please be safe out there, be kind to one another, and don't forget, make good memories. Bye, guys.